Welcome back from that break, and right now I'm being joined by Prince Oyelude Olavele, and he is the Director General at Tinubu Shetima Ambassador and also a politician. He joins me live in the studio. It's always a pleasure having you, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's also right to say New Year because I haven't seen you since this year. So thank you. Thank you for coming. Now, let's begin right away. All right, viewers, at this point, our phone lines are open. You can call the number on your screen to join the conversation right away. I would want you to speak to us as a Nigerian and not as a politician this time around. Concerning we've seen what happened and what has been going on with the Tinubu tax reform bill, which is currently before the National Assembly which is before the National Assembly for them to approve. But looking at the drama that went on from the state governors, especially the ones from the north, and coming to conclusion with what is on the table today, what would you make out of it, or what does it mean for Nigerians?
Well, it's personally, I'm very astonished. When the president passed the bill, the tax reform bill, to National Assembly. So I was very astonished why people, Nigerians, most especially the northern elders and the governors, and few Nigerians complaining, lamenting, and all those things, and their allegation, their accusation is clearly sentimental. So I was very astonished that. How
sentimental? Because Nigerians are complaining that over the times, even the tax that they've been paying, it's not which is supposed to use for capital development. We can't say, okay, this is it. This is what our tax money is being used for. No infrastructure, no good roads. So it's it begs for questions around how is it possible, or what is the guarantee that this particular one now would work. And looking at what is before Nigerians due to the current administration's policies, you don't think is a lot? You still would say
well, the bills is not to infringe poverty or stressing the Nigerian populace. It's for the good of the masses, most especially for the vulnerables, the less privileged, the poor. That's the bills was really meant for. If you look at it, many Nigerians that are complaining, lamenting, fail to go through the bills to know the nitty-gritty, to know what it really takes. Because if you look at it, if you look at the tax reform bill, the tax bill, the tax administration bill, if you look at it, you have like 4 bills there. So, and if you look at it one by one, you discover that it is for the benefits of Nigerian populace. It is for the poor, not for the rich. And if you look at it, you discover that most of the elites, maybe from the northern regions, are the one lamenting due to a caption in the tax administration bill, whereby it stated how the sharing formula of the VAT is the major issue. And if you look at it, they are talking about equity and sharing formula that should be equal across the states and the federation. But they are not looking at the place, the location, the states where huge VAT are coming from. So it's just, let me just say, it's just sentimental, because the VAT, the tax reform bill is purely for Nigerians, the benefits of Nigerians. So that's just it.
Okay. Yeah, but before now, a lot of Nigerians have, some mixed feeling on why the bill was in a hurry for passage. If not that due to the back and forth, and at the end of the day, there was this chance for people to give their contribution, public hearing, and the rest of it. Do you think, do you think is the best time to
in Nigeria, you should know that anything you want to do that will be a benefit for the nation, you must do it as a matter of urgency. Looking at the subsidy remover, you discover that even when Jonathan was there, he was trying to remove the subsidy then. But due to the brouhaha, the lamentation from Nigerians, don't do it now, don't do it now, he doesn't have that courage to take the decision at when due. So anything in Nigeria you want to do that you personally know that it will definitely be a plus, a benefit for Nigerians, you have to take action with immediate effect. And it's not as if the president was in a hurry. He sent the bill to the National Assembly. It is the duty of the House of Reps and the Senate, the Senate, to take action, to scrutinize it, go for public hearing, and take final decision on it, and send it to the president back for assent. So it is a process, but people don't want to allow their representatives to take action. They started lamenting. You know, it is not as if the presidency or maybe the president was in a hurry. It's not at all.
Okay, now I want to get your thoughts or your reaction concerning the sharing formula, because the sharing formula was the basic bone of contention that you know caused the chaos and the debate around it. But due to the recent development, and or rather according to the recent development, the sharing formula would go by 50% based on equality, 30% based on derivation, and 20% based on population. Do you see this as does this meet the yearnings of Nigeria? No,
that is the decision of the Nigerian governors. It is not.
But does it meet the yearnings of Nigeria?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Why do you think so?
The reason is that if you look at the current sharing formula of the VAT, the equality of a thing remains 50%. And then the population is 30%, whereby the derivative is 20%, making 100, right? So, but now the Tinubu of a thing to the presidency, what they call them, the Presidential Reform Committee, what they did was the equality, they brought it to 20%, then the population 20%, then the derivative 60%. That was the committee arrangement which was sent to the National Assembly. Then the Governor Forum came on their own after rejection, after complaint, lamentation. They now said that okay, the equality should remain 50%, the derivative should be 30%, then the population should be 20%. So they just deducted 10% from the population share percentage. They added it to the derivative, which is 30%. So I'm making it 50. Then that's the equality remains 50%. It's not done because we are still leveraging everything to the current situation we have, which is not the best. So the decision of the governors forum is not right. I can call it illegal, because it's not within their jurisdiction. It is an insult to the parliamentarians of National Assembly. Yes, that is just it. Because if three senators are representing a state in the red chamber, and about 6 or 9 or 20 House of Reps member per state are representing a state, you know, that is an aggregate of 469 parliamentarians representing the entire state. You know, if they cannot take a decision, if you don't allow them to act on the bill being tendered in the parliament, then you are rubbishing them. You cannot say that just 36 set of people called governors will now take decision that 469 citizens ought to take. It is not done. So if they said that the derivative should remain 50%, then they are not even acting based on the equality they are shouting, they are clamoring for, that there should be equality in sharing of dividends in the country, which is not done. The governors doesn't have any right to take action on sort. I was reading a lot of publication. People were praising the governors that they have done well by accepting the bills. Fine, they've done well by accepting the bill, but that is not the final decision. The decision still lies in the National Assembly. The National Assembly have to take their time, scrutinize it, go on public hearing. The chairman of Governors Forum supposed to be on ground during the public hearing to tender what they are publicizing now, that this is their own opinion. It is their own opinion. It is not the decision of the nation, and they cannot speak for the entire country. It is the responsibility of the senators and reps to take decision on the legislative activities that the president requested from them. So it is not done in any way, and it is not the best. Even if I am the one that even I have the privilege to to take decision on that, the derivative of a thing, if they cannot go by the 60% being requested by the presidential committee setup. You know, they should just make it around 40% for the derivative. Then the equality should be 40. Then 20% for the population. So if you are now making the derivative 30, then it's not done, because this dividend, the resources of the country are domiciled in certain places, and there are some state governors that are acting very well, that are taking their time traveling out to bring investors, whereby they can get as much as dividend, as much of VAT that they needed. You know, and you see some governors, you know, like Kano State governor now is sharing goods, sharing wheelbarrow for people to go and be working. You know, while you see some governor, like governor of Benue State now, he has established a factory, you know, a production factory for beer. You know, you now compare somebody that is sharing goods and wheelbarrow, how much VAT are they going to get from that compared to someone that's established a brewery? You know, so there's difference there, and you now expect the governor that established a brewery to share the same VAT with someone that is sharing goats and wheelbarrow, doing organizing mass wedding for the less privileged in the state. You know, whereby they have enough population to share a big fund from the VAT. You know, it's not done in that way. You know, the VAT of a thing which the president are looking up to is just to make sure that if you are serious and you are active and you are doing well in your state, then you have higher percentage to share from the total percent. So it is not done, and it is an insult to the National Assembly for the governors to come on board and say this is their stand. It is very, very wrong. And some senior Nigerians who are saying that the president should have do consultation. You know, when you have senators, you have reps that is representing you, are they not capable to stand on your behalf in the National Assembly? So it is an insult to the National Assembly, and I will keep on defending the stand and the posture of the National Assembly, because most of Nigerians ridicule them too much, which is not done. You know, and even they are not as rich as even the local government chairman in every state. So that is just the truth. So Nigerians should allow the National Assembly, the senators, that is 109 senators and 360 House of Reps, to take action on the bills and then send it to the national to the president. It is not the decision of the governor. What they are passing, they are sending to the media now. It's not the final decision, and it cannot even stand. Me personally, I will not support it, and I know many National Assembly members also will not support such. It is an insult on them. So
you beg to disagree with the governors when they say, because one of their debates or argument during the time this bill was brought upon was they need to go home, consult their people. So you disagree with the fact that what they are doing is for the interest of their people, or
it is for their personal interest. It is not for the interest of Nigeria. You know, anytime the Nigerian governors say no to something, go and look at it very well. You know that it is their selfish interest. Let me give you an example. When the president removed fuel subsidy, did you see any governor that came out and said that the president has done wrong? It is only Nigerians that are clamoring, that are shouting that we are going to have much poverty. People will suffer. It is only Nigerians that are clamoring, that are complaining. The governors, none of them come on national television, just like the one that the governor of Borno State, the governor of Oyo State came out and lamenting on the tax reform bill. They didn't come out on the issue of what they call it, fuel subsidy removal. You know, so but this one now, the president removed subsidy, nobody come out. The president gave out tax bill, they are lamenting, and this same governor now stand that they need what they call it, state policing. State policy that they need, so that they'll be using it for election rigging and all those things. So anytime the governor said yes, go and look at it, it's not in favor of Nigerians. You understand? The third thing, the fourth policy of the president was this local government autonomy. The president looked at it that, okay, we've removed fuel subsidy, and there is enough funds now on ground for the three tiers of government, the federal, the state, and the local. So you now look at it that, okay, let us give the local government autonomy as well, so that they will be able to finance themselves. They'll be able to, take decisions on their own. The governors are standing against it now. Currently, the federal government, through the Ministry of Finance and the CBN, they said all local government, the 774 local government, should go and open a bank account with the CBN. Up till now, I know the governors have instructed most of their chairmen not to go and do it. And that's why I was reading it earlier this morning that federal government will not be able to send the federation, the FAC from FAC, the allocation of the local government directly to them, because they are yet to open accounts. So the money is still going back to the accounts of the state and the local government, the joint account. So because this country, the governors, if this country is going to be all right, the governors has to cooperate. They are mainly the problem of the country. So, but people are just focusing on presidency of the federal government. No, that is why the president wants
Prince, please give me a moment. We have someone here on the show. Good evening. I'm glad to have you on the show. Good evening. Good evening. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Hello.
I can hear you. Please go ahead. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, you can. You are speaking with Honorable Abakar Usman Waziri.
Okay.
Here from Adamawa State.
Okay.
So, I'm watching you live and I'm seeing the conversation. And why you people, or I can say what the Prince is saying about the fuel subsidy. To be frankly, we are going to talk about the fuel subsidy. The presidency did not follow what Nigerians want in this aspect. And actually, because none of Nigerians that is being accepted for the fuel subsidy, he did it based on his choice and the National Assembly and the governors. Because none of Nigerians accepted.
Okay.
And then about the tax, yes, Nigeria has the right to put mouth about the tax reform. Because if you check the Nigerian constitution, there's a place where Nigerians have mouth to tell their mind. Because the Nigerian leaders are not doing what the Nigerians they are not doing what the Nigerian needs. They are only doing what the leader wants.
Okay.
I'm giving an example of the president. If the president needs something, he always talks to the Senate or the reps and the governor. So we have right to say something about the issue of the tax reform, and we have right to say something about it. If you check the regime of President Muhammadu Buhari, they have sacked or dismissed the Nigerian State Police because Nigeria has been complaining every day. I've been complaining, and they check and they see everything has to be done about it. So we have the right to say something, even though we are not there. Because our representatives too have to come and ask. And if they did not ask, so we are expecting them, they are collecting money or they are bribing them. So they have right to come back and ask their people, especially talking about the fuel subsidy where Governor Zulum and other things. Yes, they have right to come back and ask their people, either if their people like it or they don't like it.
Okay.
I think this is not a big deal for this thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Concerning what he was saying, nobody is stopping Nigeria from complaining. Nobody is stopping Nigeria from giving out their opinion. It is their right as a citizen. But what I'm saying is that the system of government created a room for for public hearing, and that's why the Senate has deliberated on the issue of the tax reform, and the tax reform they have deliberated on it, and their resolution has been sent to the Senate Committee on Finance, headed by distinguished Senator Sani Musa. So it is the Committee on Finance that will now call for public hearing, whereby any Nigerian, irrespective of the state you came from, you have to be on seat and dish out your own opinion. The aggregation of the decision of all Nigeria, their comments and everything will be looked into by the National Assembly, the Senate and the reps, and they will come up with their opinion and then send it back to the president. So, but if Nigerians are just complaining, definitely they are not voting for the right candidates. that will represent them in the National Assembly.
Okay.
So if you have a rightful candidate, you vote right, definitely you have good people that will represent you, that will, stand for your opinion, stand for the rights of their citizens in the National Assembly. But for the governor to come out and be saying that this is their wish, this is that, is very wrong, because looking at the governors, even in their states, they have House of Assembly, just like the president also have National Assembly.
Yeah.
So how many bills are they sending to the National Assembly
House.
that the local government chairman are coming and say that no, they don't want it? How many local government chairman can come out and say that what my governor is doing is wrong? They will sack him. You understand? So, but the governor keep on doing what they cannot accept from the chairman. They are doing it for the governor, for the president, which is very wrong. So if they are making their own laws in their own states with their state House of Assembly without the interference of the local government chairman, then they should not come up and then be saying that what the governor is doing is very wrong. They should allow the National Assembly that came from their state to take decision and act on it. So that is why they are killing the local government chairman. They are not allowing them to function.
Okay, but Prince, again, Mr. President has said that the tax reform bill has come to stay. So he's very, but again, I'm wondering, let's look at the holistic environment of our country, Nigeria. And according to Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, about 776 manufacturing companies have left Nigeria between 2023 to 2024, and that's a huge loss. Now, when the exit of these manufacturing companies, if they had not left, these companies would have been paying taxes. Now, this tax reform bill that Mr. President has said that it has come to stay, what should Nigerians, or how is it going to contribute to the growth of the nation, whereas the ones we had already left? If we don't address the holistic environment, do you think it will survive the change of the time?
Well, the micro business are regarded as those that have annual income of 25 million. And if you look at this tax bills now, the federal government has increased it to 50 million. So that means if your annual income is 50 million in this new tax bill, then you are regarded as a micro business owner. You understand? Compared to the initial one, which is 25 million. So if you're saying that many investors, many companies are leaving, there are many factors that may lead to that. Because the tax of a thing that I know and that I have, privilege to read through and break down from even the expatriates, you discover that it is even business friendly, whereby the tax that investors will be paying are more reduced. If you read it very well, most Nigerians that are complaining, they are complaining based on the fact that they are yet to go through it. And even if you look at the decision, the submission of the Governors Forum, they are not talking about the tax, how much the tax the citizen will be paying, because even the salary earners now, if you are earning up to 800,000 naira, you are not going to be paying tax. You are not going to be paying tax as a salary earner. So the tax reform bill is purely and mainly for the for Nigerian citizens, for the poor. Let me put it in that way. You understand? So the major problem of Nigerians.
Wait, we understand clearly that this tax reform bill exempted the poor. Now, the rich who it fell on, don't you think, in a way, they will have to find a way to fix it in their goods and services, which would also be consumed by these poor Nigerians or average Nigerians who have been exempted?
Yes.
It does not look like robbing Peter to people.
No, it's not. It's not like, okay, for instance, I gave you an instance that the micro business owner, they are regarded as those who their annual income are 25 million naira. So now let's assume that you are doing business, and as we speak now that the bill is not yet assented to, your business turnover in 2024 is 25 million naira. Definitely the government will regard you as low income, as a micro business owner. You understand? But then now look at it that amount is too small. let us increase it so that it will reduce the tax you'll be paying. So they now increase it to 50 million naira. So if your business now grow to an extent that your annual income is 50 million naira, then you are still regarded as a micro business owner. So these are the benefits. It's not as if maybe when you have huge money, or maybe you are a billionaire, then you have enough tax to pay. It's no.
Okay, so help us make a better understanding, because based on the recent development, it does look like Lagos and River States, which used to get more of this sharing formula, have been affected. So I want to understand, does it guarantee, or does it really brought up the equality that most governors are craving for? I have an example of few states. For Lagos State initially gets about 43 billion naira, but due to the recent development, or if this bill is being ascended to, Lagos will be getting 21 billion naira. Now Niger State used to get 6 billion naira. Niger State will be getting 8 billion naira if this bill is being approved. Now let's go to River State, which used to get 18 billion naira. Now River State will be getting 11 billion naira. Does it make the balance, or does it create the equality that most people are craving for? Because initially some people are of the opinion that this VAT goes to Lagos State. So if for example you're in Adamawa or you're in Anambra, you do a transaction, the VAT goes to Lagos State, which is not supposed to, and it kind of puts up some political, I don't know, but help us make a better understanding.
And that's why they call it derivative. The word derivative shows that wherever the transaction is being made, that is where they derive that tax, that VAT from. So that location is going to be the beneficiary of that percentage. You understand? And initially, as we speak, according to the expert, the VAT that Nigerians are paying are usually going to the account of the company in the headquarters, which most of those headquarters are in Lagos State. So these are the things that the tax reform bill is going to correct, whereby where the transaction is being derived from, they'll be getting the normal percentage. Instead of now they are calculating it based on the fact that it's going to the headquarters, so it will not be going to the headquarters again. So if you buy a recharge card here in Abuja, instead of their head office, maybe it's in Lagos or thereabout, so it's not going to be calculated based on the head office. It's going to be calculated in FCT here, whereby the FCT is going to be the beneficiary of the VAT. So that is what the bill is mainly for. But the main agitation of most of the Northerners is just because maybe there is no much established factories and companies, or maybe that's the reason why they are thinking otherwise in that direction. So but most of the south states, whereby they are oil producing states, they are earning low, and they are agitating that this is very wrong. Everything is coming from our land, but at the same time we are not we are not getting it. But these bills, I know fervently that it is going to be a catalyst of development, because when you know that you don't have enough VAT, you don't produce enough VAT that can give you much money, definitely you will sit down and look at what can I do, what investment am I going to embark on that will be giving my states more VAT. You understand? So just that most states are seeing themselves as if they cannot stand on their own unless they depend on other states, which is very wrong. So every state to start, at least they should tighten their bed seats now and know that we have to invest. It's not as if we'll be sharing wheelbarrow. It's not as if we'll be, we have to travel out, go and look for investment. And if your land like Kano now, it's more like a state. Is the states is like the industrial hub of the northern states. So I don't know why the governor will now be sharing wheelbarrow, and whereby many things can be done in that state. They can venture into agriculture, whereby they can get enough VAT for the states. Look at Niger State now. Like Niger State, look at it that what can I do? He invested in agriculture massively. by the end of this year now, I know that Niger State will be on the global map on agriculture. So every state should just look at their peculiarity and look at what can they do, what do they have that can fetch the state's money. It's not as if they will be sitting down and be waiting for the federal allocation to come. That's why they still want to maintain the 50% equality. It can be. You understand? We cannot go by that 50% equality.
All right. Hello, good evening. Hello, if you can hear me, good evening. Sorry, you might have to call us back. I know I heard you talked about the governors and their own opinion or agitation, not for the interest of the people. But this recent development, do you think this would you create a smooth passage of this bill? I mean, the National Assembly. Do you think this will create a smooth passage?
Definitely, it will create a smooth passage.
Why do you think so? But you said if you are to advise the National Assembly, or it shouldn't stand, you know, the recent development or what the governors have come up with.
Yeah, the governors said they accepted the, the continuation of the legislative action on the bill. So definitely they've accepted the fact that the bill can continue, they can continue acting on it in the National Assembly. So, but their opinion on the sharing of the VAT is what I'm talking about. So they cannot stop the bill anymore because they said no, they accepted it, but they cannot stand on, they cannot be the final voice for the bill. That is it. It is the jurisdiction of the parliamentarians in the National Assembly. So it is not the duty of the governors. But at least you can see the tension is down now that the governors said they can go ahead with this thing. I think from their thing they said they support the continuation of the legislative process at the National Assembly. So that is the only thing I can derive from their
so you're very confident that their recent development on the sharing formula won't stand?
No, it cannot stand. I am very confident. What if it
stands?
It's very wrong. Then there is no need of there's no any change now. When we are talking of equality, so the equality remains 50. You now pick 10% from the population. They look at it that maybe the south people, or maybe some set of people that are not against the bill. They picked the 10% from the population and added it to the what do you call it, the derivatives. The derivatives initially.
Prince, please give me a moment. We have another caller here. Hello, good evening, if you can hear me.
Good evening.
Good evening, glad to have you on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Buhari from Niger State.
Oh, Buhari from Niger State, please go ahead. You have just 60 seconds, please.
Okay, I just want to talk about this tax reform of 18 briefly.
Okay.
In Nigeria, the most problem we are having is not just about collecting our tax, but the remittances and also the execution of the fund judiciously is the major problem.
Okay.
If not, the tax, in fact, both Muslim, Christian, I mean, all the citizens of Nigeria are aware about the tax, and they have been paying. But what they are clamoring for is, after collecting these taxes, is it possible that they are going to use these taxes the way it's supposed to be?
Okay.
Then let me divert just like some seconds to this subsidy removal of 18. My brother there, the Director General, Tinubu Shetima, what he's saying there, I want him to understand that it's not everything that National Assembly has some role to play.
Okay.
The very first day Tinubu assumed office, he talked about the removal of subsidy. And that aspect, he has every right to reverse it. The fact that the citizens of Nigerians are clamoring for change, like they are crying, it's hard, the economy is hard because of the removal. I think he has virtually every state talking about that. Why can't he do something about it?
Okay.
Maybe by reversing it, or maybe by reducing some money like from the total this thing that is called, they are selling the TMS now.
Okay.
So to me, in that aspect of subsidy removal, Tinubu have every right to do something about it. The issue of National Assembly that they are deliberating is a different thing.
Okay.
So he should just try to consider citizens that voted him into power.
All right.
It's not all these governors that deliver him.
Okay.
By 2027 now, I believe he would love to run again, and I'm an APC member. I work for him, and inshallah, I hope to work for him again.
Okay.
But if he did not do things that citizens like, I don't know how we are going to deliver him.
All right.
That's my own
Well,
solution.
the truth is, people keep on lamenting on the presidency. This issue of first subsidy removal has been on ground quite long. Even the presidential candidates of PDP and that of Labour Party and APC Tinubu, both three of them use the first subsidy removal as a campaign yardstick. All of them said they are going to remove fuel subsidy that is long overdue. You understand? There is no Nigerian standing against it then. So why are we now complaining? You know, the problem of Nigerians is when their leaders, assuming it's Peter Obi that emerged now and remove the fuel subsidy, they will say that they've destroyed the country before he came on board, so he's trying to repair it.
Okay, well, please. Now, I want to understand, as a member of the IPC and as a politician that you are, what do you think? This is a new year. This is it is right to say this is the new year because we are still in the first month. What do you think the President Bola Tinubu would take advantage of to reset a lot of things, especially on the aspect of food insecurity?
Well, it's still in the hands of Nigerians because Nigerians.
How is it in the hands of Nigerians?
Nigerians are not talking. The only
Nigerians are not talking.
Let me land. The only way and the only policy on ground now that is the best bet for all Nigerians is the local government autonomy.
Okay.
Yes, that will reduce. That will serve as an avenue for food security, in the sense that if the allocation is going straight to the local government, the local government chairman will be able to manage the fund judiciously, in the sense that every ward and unit will have funds, we have money, we have enough, we have support, for agricultural, this thing for businesses and all sorts. But Nigerians are not complaining, they are not talking, they are not standing against the governor that is blocking it. So that is the only thing that Nigerians need to do, which is the best bet for the country. All right. The local government autonomy should stand. That is just it.
All right, thank you so much, Prince Olavele. He's been speaking with us on the issue of the tax reform bill and especially the recent developments of the state governors on their stand and the tax reform, Tinubu's tax reform bill. So it's been wonderful speaking with you. Thank you so much for sparing your time, and we hope to see you some other time. These viewers, this is where we draw the curtain for today's program. Thank you so much for sticking around with us and keep watching Kaftan Television until we come your way some other time. Have yourself a beautiful weekend and may God bless Nigeria.